The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
We are live in Britain on the People's Euro Gap year. How was the afternoon?
Delight! Very first show here from Andy's Euro lair. He's got lairs all over the globe now. He's tri-global. He's got an Australian lair, a New York lair that has been mothballed unless he got a lair keeper in or something to just keep the lair warm. And
Several.
A Euro lair here in London.
With Mum and Dad staying. Dad's just wandered up and he's 90.
The silver-haired lair keeper. He might look gentle, but he's here to work security. Unbelievable, and I specifically told you I wanted a nice house for you to live in this year. Just a quaint apartment, and you've gone and bloody got a lair again.
Well, there's so many medieval
spirals.
castles. I mean,
the spiral rack. Got a DVD case next to it here. I'll just pick a DVD title at random. Film? What's that film called? Stalker. What is this, an instructional manual? What have you hired? Some sort of filth palace.
Well, you could have got a few across, and there's Mean Girls.
There's the case of Mean Girls. I don't know what DVD's in there. Anyway, don't worry, we'll be exploring the lair later.
It's pretty important that we cut to the chase here. There's something that started last week.
Yeah, we can't just keep going through your instructional manuals on what to do to women without them knowing that you're on the rooftop over the road.
It's not
the video's called Stalker.
You
admitted last year you were peeping.
It's a fictional film.
Till it comes true.
Much to my disappointment. Anyway, obviously the Olympic Games coming up in London. You and I are in London town at the moment. Yes, they have big red post boxes. The rest of it's pretty similar to Australia. But they're carrying on because the Olympic flame has started its rounds. Yeah. It's all we're hearing at the moment, and this is an example.
Special BA plane, BA 2012, is in the air, en route from Athens. The flame on board in row number 1.
Is it a cheese grater? Is it an ice cream cone? No, it's the Olympic torch.
Torchbearer Tom Baker completing his run with an explosive finish.
Zara Phillips carrying the flame through Cheltenham. A little bit of trouble with Toy Town. Zara's horse, a little bit uncertain, a lot of people around. And now for the first time, the Olympic flame borne high on horseback.
Real riveting stuff.
So that's 24/7 over here.
And that's the highlights package, mind you.
Never has England cried so loudly for the bill to come back on primetime television.
You and I were convinced that everyone was just cheering because some warmth had come to this place, because England has been disgustingly cold since we arrived.
It's unbelievable, and I don't remember us making this much hoo-ha about the torch when it was in Sydney. No. Now, I'm not trying to play favourites here, but I just remember a very cool, chilled-out country doing the rounds. Some school kids got to go. Some rural communities had a geezer.
A farmer had a crack.
Yeah. I think we let a kangaroo carry it at one stage. Everyone came out very relaxed, finished at the Opera House, small amount of media coverage. Yeah. We just knew the level to play it at. Now, England's gone bananas over the flame. We mentioned last week on the show.
I should point out that Tom Baker there is Doctor Who. They were pumped with him. I think he kicked things off. I mean, and they had gunfire when he came.
I would have loved a Dalek to carry it. That's what they should have done. Here's the thing: we mentioned on the show last week. Look, would it be actually technically termed as theft?
Yeah.
If myself wearing a fake hand made of plastic, a mannequin hand, possibly wood.
Oh, we think wood.
Realistic.
Burn plastic.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as I dip it in kerosene. Yeah. Maybe a wax, maybe a long burning wax, maybe each finger's a wick.
Yeah.
We don't know, of a candle.
5 times the security of a blowout.
Oh, maybe it's made of that stuff, the candles you can't blow out on birthday cakes. I casually jog up beside the flame, maybe dressed as a cop. Yeah. I don't know. We haven't looked into the legalities of that. I dip my hand into the flame. Yeah. I then sprint back to you. Yeah. You're waiting in a budget rental truck with a gas burner in the back. I, with the Olympic flame now engulfed, my fake hands on fire. Yeah. I put it into the gas burner. You and I burn back here to London.
We put it in a lantern. The glass casing goes on. Yep. Suddenly we're shared the flame.
Suddenly we have a bit of the Olympic flame. Yeah. Do we have the Olympic flame and only the Olympic flame? No. Have we stolen it?
No.
I say how. If you still have it, how have I stolen it? We have merely shared something that is technically infinite. The whole world could catch fire with the Olympic flame.
Yeah.
But no, London won't have that. London's not going to let us catch the whole world on fire because they're hogging the flame.
They are hogging the flame.
We thought this was actually a wonderful communal spirit, communal idea. Someone actually wrote to us during the week and said, hey, during Easter celebrations in the Catholic Church, you share flames. You share the Easter flame with the candle. And I haven't looked into that, but I believe them. So essentially what London's saying is that they're better than the Pope. Do you think you're better than the Pope? We don't think we're better than the Pope. We think we're on par with the Pope.
It's a Pope par.
If he's good enough for the Pope, it's good enough for us. We say there's nothing wrong with sharing the flame. Well, we have floated this with a few English people, and they are ropeable that we want to share the flame.
It's official snot fest.
England's got the snots with us because we want to share the flame.
13, 10, 60. What would you do with it if you got a chance to share it? And do you think we should share the flame?
Are we out of line here? Have we gone mad? Are we just a couple of guys on a gap here that haven't read the mood of the people properly?
Because a couple of Olympic bangers on the barbie, to me, would be the perfect way, Ham.
Cooked by an Olympic flame.
Don.
Are we out of line? Are we out of line? It seems like unanimously from English people, they think this is a bad idea. Something inside us still says, get that fake hand.
Don on 13, 10, 60. You'd think we should share the flame?
Yeah, mate, I reckon we should share the flame, especially share it up here towards Canberra.
Yep.
Yeah,
we can ship it over. That's the
Oh,
other
look,
thing.
it's cold enough. I reckon we should make a nice bonfire out here and we can all turn around and warm our backsides with it.
Faster, higher, stronger, warmer. That's what the Olympics wanted, Don. And I don't know if we should let London have the flame anyway, because don't they extinguish it at the end of the games? That doesn't sound very responsible. If the flame could talk, wouldn't it pick the guys that want to help it grow and spread across the world rather than the people that are only going to love it for like bloody 12 days and then kill it?
I do like the fact that if Londoners are streaming this, Don's suggestion was just all facing our asses at the flame.
Back in the day, Ando, the Olympics were nude anyway. You're facing your ass, all sorts of body parts at the flame.
Jared, 13, 10, 60. Should we be sharing this flame, mate?
Yeah, I definitely think you should. I'm kind of putting it in the same basket as piracy, because pretty much you are just making a copy of the flame. I figure get outside the various sporting events and sell that flame, make some cash off it.
It's not a bad idea. We could at least sell stuff burnt by the flame. What do you want? A badge or a badge melted in the Olympic flame, a lump of metal?
Jared, how much are we selling the flame for? Say if we had just little candles. What's the going price of an Olympic candle?
Well, I guess it depends how many you're going to make. Like, is it going to be a rare item, or are you just going to sell infinite amounts? Like, I mean, if you go if you go to Queen Vic Market, there's stalls full of stuff that every single stall's selling the same thing, or are you going to make it like a unique thing only Hamish and Andy are selling it?
Right, Jared.
Well, I think
we should do like cricket memorabilia. We should have one of like 501, and we should wax on the inside.
The thing is, that's what London's trying to make it exclusive. I feel like we are the communal guys. I mean, first run, 5,000 candles.
Economies of scale, you think?
Well,
let's just move units.
Well, I mean, aren't we going against our very notion of communal flame here if we limit it to 100 runs?
Oh, but just for that item. I mean,
the trouble I'm having is the argument there was, look, guys, it's fine. It's just like piracy, which isn't fine. I mean, I don't want us to be flame pirates here. We're just flame sharers. If London was selling. If it was their own copyrighted work, the Olympic flame, by all means, protect that. Yeah. But it's not. They didn't invent fire. We all did. It's Homo sapiens.
It's Pants Off Friday.
Hamish and Andy.
We are in London at the moment. The Euro gap year has officially kicked off, I think, Ham.
And this year's gap year, both on TV and on radio, bigger and better than last year. And that means, from our perspective here at the radio show, we're having to branch out and we're having to commission other people to bring Australians the news that we don't have the time or the resources to gather.
Well, there's a huge gap at the moment in the market for newspapers. Yeah. News of the World's been shut down.
And we wanted something even more scandalous.
Yeah, exactly.
We have commissioned Cackling Jack, who presses the buttons from the lair, here with us on the show, to during the week go out, put his press hound hat on, dig around a bit, find out, get a few leads, get a couple of exclusives, get some dirt, and publish a newspaper that we own, but he's the editor of, for back that we can put online and people in Australia can access it. It's called the Jack Post. The first edition is hot off the press this morning. It's just landed on our desks. Firstly, welcome to the show, Kathleen Jack, the editor.
Thank you. Editor, writer, photographer.
All right, mate.
Well, I'm not sure if you did get this photo of Tom Jones.
First thing we have to say is, look, points that it's colour. It's a colour paper.
Colour paper, that's good.
But just to explain it to people, and people can go to the website and see it, there's only one page of this newspaper.
So this is the front page. I thought this week, because you didn't really give me much direction, you just said go out and make a paper.
Well, you're the editor, so, we're just the owners. We're the fat cats.
But I think if you go back through time, whether it's, the Daily Telegraph, The Age, Courier Mail, they always started with one page.
One page, one story, and a press photo.
And so, people were getting a little bit ripped off for their $1.10 just to get one page.
Well, this is free.
Let me just pick one story from the paper. It happens to be the only story. Headlined, Tom Jones looks different now. And there's a picture of Tom Jones taken 2012?
Yeah. This is recent. You're right, Andy, I didn't take that photo. I got that from Google.
It would have been an amazing get for his first edition to have Tom Jones in person doing a photo.
So, of all the news floating... Remember, you're allowed to do more than one story. Of all the news floating around London, you decided, as editor-in-chief, this was the big one.
Well, actually, Tom Jones was my first story, and it was originally going to be an odd spot or something of the news, but it turned out being the biggest story.
It turned out being the whole front page and the only story. It's also the sports, the horoscope, it's everything. What else was in the running to make the paper?
Well, actually, I did edit some out because...
It wasn't as good as the Tom Jones looks different now story.
But I wanted to save them for next week's edition.
Just in case you didn't get a story.
No newspaper files a story for next week. That's the whole idea of the news. It's happening now. It's new.
Well, won't
that be old?
I have page 2 here. No, it's sort of like the Tom Jones one. It's a bit like that. You could read the Tom Jones one.
It's a keeper. What's the other story? You have to tell us now, mate. You've got to do a new paper every week.
And this is going to be story. This is going to probably be the front page of story of next week.
You can't just write all your front pages in 1 week.
The second, spoiler alert, next week's paper may have the headline, A Diamond Jubilee.
This is the start of that article. I was watching Millionaire Hot Seat one afternoon in Australia before we left for London, and the question was something like, this is the Queen's 60th year as Queen. What colour Jubilee is it? They worded it better than that, but you get the gist. The answers were diamond, ruby, and I forgot the rest. Maybe gold or silver and emerald. Those kinds of rare stones and stuff. Or metals. So I assume you go...
So the article goes on to say that the answer is Diamond Jubilee. And they're really hyped about it here in London. Like, you couldn't miss that. Where that was a $50,000 question on Millionaire in Australia, that would be $100 here because people know.
Everyone knows. Jack, as the owner of the paper, if I had to pick between the Tom Jones looks different now story and a story on the Diamond Jubilee, which is probably global news, a bit of me feels the Diamond Jubilee maybe is a bigger story.
Sure. As much as Tom Jones does look different to when he was younger.
Because I could argue that everyone looks different now.
But have you guys seen the ads for, because he's on The Voice at the moment, the British version of The Voice, and I didn't know who he was at the start.
Do you think it's more of a scoop? So maybe everyone knew about the Jubilee?
Oh, the Jubilee. It depends if it's more of a tabloid kind of paper or if it's your real facts and stuff.
Do you think the Tom Jones story would you classify that as an exclusive?
I just don't think people are reading about that back at home.
So there is an argument for that, but also, this is the tough job you face as a newspaper editor. Do you think that the editor of The Australian, like say someone comes from me and goes, listen, mate, Iran has nuclear weapons and everyone's writing about it. Do you think he goes, yeah, but everyone's writing about that? Let's put a story in about, where Big Ted from Play School is now, because I don't think anyone's writing about that today. So you've got a challenge, don't you?
All right. So you want me to put something a bit more serious on next week's edition?
It blew me away that it was an interesting article. He does look different now. I believe you describe him as a kind of a tanned Obi-Wan Kenobi during the article.
I don't know. I feel that it is different. I mean, I like.
Well, do I have permission to put it on the website at least as the first edition?
The Jack Post goes up now.
Look, there's no arguing it. It's already printed. I mean, we can't change it now. It's
HamishNetty.com. You can check out the Jack Post. We look forward to the next instalment next week.
I mean, we'll get some letters maybe. Get a bit of reader feedback. Yes. Maybe they like the Tom Jones kind of stories.
Sure.
Maybe they will shape the direction of this paper.
Hamish
It does look different now. It's a great story.
It's HamishNetty.com, everyone.
Hamish and Andy.
Hey, look, I know we've come out and we've called Britain a bunch of snots for not letting us share the flame.
Only those that didn't agree with our very specific opinion.
And we want to... look, I apologise that's not the view of everybody. And I don't want this to be just, a bit of a London bash, but I tell you what, I have to get this off my chest.
Look, so we've just said, hang on, England, drop your guard for a sec. Come here, give us a hug. Poof, headbutt. What's your headbutt?
Maltesers are disappointing.
Do you think so over here? You don't like the chocolate?
Yeah, have you had them?
Tell you what I've had as well as Maltesers. We can do a snack update right now because I got some pretty bloody big headlines myself. This should have made the paper. If I had my way, this is what the Jack Post would be about. Yeah. It is a different chocolate, but Mars have Mars planets here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. What do I mean? Mars planets, I'm positive these aren't in Australia. I would have known about this. Yeah. And by the way, isn't Maltesers Mars anyway? Aren't they the same company? I thought Mars was Snickers, Mars and Maltesers.
I don't know.
Let's leave that to the side for a second, because I know Mars is M&Ms.
Yeah.
Mars planets, they look like Maltesers, right? They're about the same size when viewed by the naked eye at the same distance. There's 3 different centres, and you don't know which one you're going to get. There's like a gooey centre, a crunchy centre, very similar to a Malteser.
Yeah, right.
And then sort of like a mixture of the two in the other one. And you just don't know what planet your mouth's going to land on.
Is that good or bad? It sounds silly to me. I mean,
I like the lucky dip aspect. It's reminiscent of a clinker. Yeah. But, I prefer knowing what planet I'm going to. I got to be honest with you, Mars planets. And that's why I've purchased only 2 bags. One to test it, one to make sure that I wasn't into it.
It's Pants Off Friday.
Hamish and Andy.
Look, a little bit of personal news from you and I. During the week, we got addicted to a brand new iPhone game.
We did.
This happens from time to time with Anna. We like to go in sync with our games so it can become a little contest. And whenever you go, if you've got an iPhone and you go to the App Store, whenever I see something that's doing well, that's got 2,000 ratings or something, and it's about $1.50 or whatever, you go, those guys are millionaires now.
Yeah.
Like it's just a guy sitting in a dorm or something at Berkeley, or that's probably just the social network, but it's a dude that's just going, mate, what if we just made a little ski game and suddenly it's a global phenomenon and you're a millionaire? And I say
they added Yetis.
They got Yetis and snowmobiles, so I'll give it to them. But you go, good on you guys. I always feel a little bit, score one for the little guy. That's what apps are all about. Yeah. And I was talking to a mate of ours over here, John, about it. He got onto the game. And I said, so it's good to know that those guys are probably doing well now, those 2 guys that invented it. I'm thinking very much like Jesse Eisenberg type guys.
Yeah, okay.
And he goes, he goes, my mate just developed an app. And I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah, it's an app where you go in and you can select any type of biscuit. We've got about 10 different options of biscuit that you select. And then you can select any type of beverage.
Okay.
Tea, mocha, Ovaltine,
or
cappuccino, maybe juice. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I haven't got the app.
Okay.
And then once you've selected your biscuit and your liquid, it will automatically dunk it for you and show you how the biscuit responds to the different fluid.
Right.
So I said to John, I was like, oh, okay. Because you hear about all these kooky apps all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, good, man. How's it going? He goes, not well. No one wants it.
Because it's a bit crap, probably.
And it just occurred to me, I thought, for every ski safari, for every smash hit game, there's a guy that developed the biscuit and the fluid app, which is why, and my heart broke a little bit, and I thought, all it's got to do is catch on fire a bit. And I thought we could create a brand new segment called Knick Knack Paddywhack, Give an App a Go.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
Okay.
Knick Knick-knack, paddywhack, give an app a go. Okay. Here's what we need. 131060. Full name of the song. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give an app a go. I shall try it on my iPhone.
Okay.
Right? 131060. If you have developed, or you know someone that's developed an app, that there was a lot of talk at the pub about this is going to be massive. Yeah, I think, everyone's going to love the app where you pretend to blow your nose on a hanky and snot goes on it, right? And no one's got into it. 131060. We'll take 3. Mm-hmm. We will trial them over the next week. We'll download these apps, and next week on the show, hopefully there'll be an app that we've given a go to.
And so we're going to trial 3 of them, Ham.
Yeah.
And then
or do you just want to try one?
No, let's trial. Then are we going to say which one's the best?
And then I think next week we're not going to give it much of a go now. You give us 3. We trial them over the week. Next week, there's definitely an app that we've given a go, and we have to pick a winner. And we have to kind of support it.
Yeah, okay. It might not be a glowing review, but
I can see already you don't like the idea that there's inbuilt praise without trying it.
Your chance to pitch him here. We'll take 3.
Yep. You know that those apps, in the glory of the pub, you think that this is my ticket to $1 million.
Yeah.
And then when they hit the app store, it can be disappointing to find out they haven't set the world on fire. That's where we step in with Knick-knack, paddywhack, give an app a go.
Michael, you've invented an app or know someone who has?
Lads, you've got to give this app a go.
Okay.
The boys and I were in fact, we were at the pub. It was a 20-cent game where it's a reaction game. You've got to drop the 20 cents. You've got to catch it as quick as you can. And we were saying who's got the quickest reaction. So one of the tech geeks, one of our mates, said let's create an app. And his name's Alex. And it's basically a little red dot comes up on the screen. And when it turns green, you've got to press it. And basically it's a reaction time game. And the quickest we could do it was 0.03 seconds. So we called it 0.03 seconds. Get around it.
All right, we've got 0.03 seconds.
All right.
And has it made money? Is it done well?
Initially it did, but tell you what, it died very quickly. It was about as cool as the yo-yo phase, which in grade 3 wasn't too cool. So yeah,
well, it was okay. I had a Yo-Mega myself. So.
Well, Hamish has been renowned for carrying on things longer than it should, Michael. I mean, I reckon you've got 5 or 6 years out of 0.03 seconds or whatever it is.
That's the first app we will trial this week. We'll give it a go.
Melinda, tell us.
Hi.
What's the app?
It is called Lost for Words, and it is brilliant. You boys are going to love it. You are going to be able to get ideas on what to write on all your postcards, all your cards that you want to send people. So what you do is download the app, 99 cents, and then whatever it is that you want to talk about, it can be birthday, anniversary, whatever it is, there's little categories up the top. You hit the category and it gives you a whole big list of things to write.
So this is actually this has come one day too late.
Awesome.
I'm not giving it a go though. I'm just saying yesterday was Andy's actual birthday.
Yeah, and your card was just blank.
I sat down to write the card yesterday. So if I had have had Lost for Words the app and I would have hit birthday, would it have come up with a few suggestions like, you're a great friend. I really like your hair. Remember
awesome.
the time.
Definitely.
Really?
But maybe I can create a little category that says, I forgot your birthday, but you're still awesome.
Well, we'll send it through in an update because we'll be downloading it today.
Linda, we're going to give Lost for Words a go. James, I mean, it's amazing.
This has accidentally turned into, what was that show, Dragon's Den?
Dragon's Den.
This has turned into, suddenly we're Alan Sugar or whatever the guy's name was.
Certainly wasn't Alan. James, on 131060, tell us, what's the app? Nick, Nat, Paddywhack, give an app a go.
It's called Bean Hunter. Fairly simple. You're hunting for beans in a country where they don't make good coffee, and hop on, and you'll be able to find somewhere local. It checks GPS and all that sort of stuff to figure out where you are and where the nearest good coffee joint is. Coffee venue.
Did you make it?
Yeah. So basically, it works on heaps of people hopping on and reviewing places nearby. So there's places it started in Melbourne.
So you need it to catch fire, don't you?
Yes, need it to catch fire.
Because if we happen to find ourselves in Zambia or somewhere and we jump on Bean Hunter,
and you
odds are the Melbourne app hasn't been used in Zambia, and I might be right next to one of the best African coffee joints ever.
Yeah, then you need to review it and put it on Bean Hunter.
Do I get a reward for reviewing it?
praise from lots of people, the joy knowing that other people found that coffee venue second after you.
Two rewards.
James, was it risky inventing an app that requires a lot of people to use it for it to work?
Yes.
Guess what, James? I don't drink coffee, but I'm going to try Bean Hunter this week.
You've got another download in Andy, but I gotta say he's not going to be the most vocal member of the Bean Hunter community.
We'll give them all a go.
We got through
the review next week.
Hamish and Andy.
Emails flooding in, supporting our idea that would it be such a bad thing if we were to don a fake hand, douse it in kerosene, run alongside the Olympic flame, multiply the Olympic flame, bring it back to London and cook sausages on it. Would that be the biggest crime in the world?
It's our flame claim. We want to claim the flame. I suppose the fact that we're doing it covertly by building a kind of combustible fake arm to run.
That just to me seems the most convenient way.
Okay, does mean it's little. It feels like it's a little bit sneaky.
Just spitballing here. Yeah. You got a good visual on the security they got round the flame. I mean, what are they doing? Running one guy with it? Undercovers? Do you think tandems, bikes? They got motorbikes. They got a backup flame.
I did actually. I've been looking at this a great deal. They've got a couple of. Visual.
High-vis police. Yeah,
but there's 2 or 3. Undercovers as well.
You got them.
A guy had a run at it the other day.
And a couple of undercovers went for it. How do we know they're not just a couple of these flame-fearing citizens?
Yeah, good call. They looked more professional than that, and they were tracking with it. I'm not sure if...
They were ready?
Yeah, they were ready to go.
Okay, what were they wearing? How do we become these guys?
Well, I suppose they're in a white... They're identifiable in as far as I didn't realise they were protectorates of the flame, but they were all in tracksuits and so on, and keeping pace.
I could afford a tracksuit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't we just jog up alongside them and go, all right, mate, you're off for lunch. We'll take it from here.
Well, I mean, that's an opportunity. I feel, though, when they go
Never mind my extra long arm. That seems to be one hand longer than a normal arm.
I feel like when they go through... I mean, this is in heavy-duty areas. This is when, Princess Zara was on it, etc. I feel when they get to the kind of hills of Wales or...
That's in Scotland, man.
Yeah, the mountains of Scotland.
That's the thing. All the news cameras are around at the moment. So, of course, they're going to pretend they've got a high police presence. England... they're running out of money and whatnot. They can't afford to just send the whole police force on a round the country trip because you got meals, you got
it's true.
per diems, you got a lot of extra expenses to send those cops.
Yep.
There will be a time when we catch that flame just alone in a dark alley, and then it's just hand in the flame. Don't mention this to anyone, and we get out of there.
I reckon we watch Prince of Thieves. Robin Hood, as well as Braveheart. See what Wallace and Hood did, because that was a similar kind of thing. They're just passing through.
I suppose they are going up against the King of England both times.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll look into that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to charge at them with a big sword because that's probably when the police would get alerted.
I'm more talking about where the best places are. When they're in a valley.
Ambush tactics. Yes.
Sorry, no, I don't think we get an army of Scottish men in kilts to go down and...
My mistake. Lost in translation.
Hey, that's going to be Plan B, because Plan A is singing a song.
Yeah, the Scottish Army is Plan B. We think, and look, hopefully, especially after last week's joint show, we've got a lot of English listeners now streaming the show, maybe listening to the podcast. We will appeal to them through one of their favourite mediums. The Beatles used it. There's no reason we can't use it as well. Music.
Come on, guys, let us light hams, wood and ham, or mannequin. It would make perfect kindling, doused in kerosene. It won't change the games. Don't be friggin' greedy. We could be sharing a communal flame. Come on, England, don't you agree? The flame would be perfect to defrost frozen peas. And these guys agree.
Yeah, mate, I reckon we should share the flame, especially share it up here towards Canberra.
Yeah, I definitely think you should.
We could be burning a communal flame.
Hamish and Andy.
Bench Off Friday. Hamish and Andy driving you home, doing it from London. In the flat here.
Yeah, we're laughing, Ando. We're laughing, but unfortunately the time's come for some seriousness. Because everyone is excited for this to be the first show of a brand new Andy Lair. Last year when we broadcast from New York, we had the world-famous New York Lair that you yourself admitted you peeped from quite often. You enjoyed peeping as your favourite pastime?
There, from the rooftop.
No one likes a peeper? But
But
you got addicted to peeping.
Window watched.
You peeped. You became a peeper, and the Lair became renowned all over New York as, that place with the big heavy wooden doors. Stay away, stay away. Listen to what the gargoyles seem to be saying with their frozen faces of horror above the Lair entrance. Now, you've got yourself a new Lair. I said get a cottage, get something cute and quaint. Instead, you went out and you blew all your cash on another Lair. We already established, with a random selection from the DVD shelf.
You could have gone with Meet the Parents.
A film called Stalker. As I cast my eyes up the shelf, what have we got? 2 chessboards.
Yeah.
Chess. Yeah. A strategic game in which everyone must die to protect the king. Coincidence? I think not, Mr. Lee. You've already got a babe downstairs in bed.
It's my mum.
This has gone.
I'm in a different bed.
I did.
My bedroom is over there, and there's a small guest room which mum's on an inflatable mattress.
I did not expect things to go this Lairborne so quickly. A random selection of books.
Okay.
Not making this up. We'll put these photos online.
Can do that. 101 movies.
What have I got here? The Subtle Knife. What Lair wouldn't be complete without a subtle knife to go with the obvious axe?
Okay.
What have we here? The Fear Index. A book called The Fear Index. How to rate your victim's fear on a scale of 1 to 100. The ultimate guide if you own a Lair.
It's not. It's a fictional book.
What do we have here? Peeping Tom. A book called Peeping Tom.
That is bizarre.
Yes, a book. How to Peep. How to Peep by Tom the Peeper Tom. The original Peeping Tom.
What is that one?
Peeping Up with the Joneses. It's the sequel to.
I mean, these all come with the place. I don't know these.
Do they, Andy? Yeah. Or they specifically requested? What's this, I find? Another book.
The Slave Girl.
Oh, unbelievable! It's full of your manuals. It's full of your DVDs. What's this? Some sort of luring whistle, I see.
It's ornamental by the looks of things.
Just to play your flute to have them dancing into your lair. The old piped lairer of London. Gather round, my pretties, as we play real life sex chess.
Shut up. It's Pants Off Friday.
A reading from The Slave Girl next week.
It's Pants Off Friday.
Hamish and Andy.
Haim.
Yeah.
Amy, not only keeping this podcast free, powering the website.
Good on them, because they've been doing this for a while now. Amy, I mean, 1 year ago, maybe even if I'm being super critical, 15 months ago, I could have just gone, yeah, well, they're coming on for a sec. We'll see. We'll see. It's now officially, I'm going to call it, as of today's podcast, a long-term relationship.
Getting close to de facto. Amy. Getting close to de facto. But
and they're good people to be de facto with. You can be spilling stuff in the kitchen, they got you covered. Well, you can be crashing the family car, they got you covered. You can be egging on tornadoes, they got you back.
But hey, what they've got is an opportunity for people to come and check out one of the Euro Gap Year shows, TV shows in London.
I think it's actually really generous from our de facto.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of a comp.
Yeah.
People come, they get to hang out with us, which is not the greatest part
That's
of the
thing. That's not the prize, but the trip to London is the good prize.
Absolutely. And tickets to a West End show, I think, are in there.
You go to everything. You go to the London Eye, you're getting on a bus, they're covering that. I think you're even going to some Olympic events. They're covering that.
Well worth going to hamishandandy.com and clicking on the Amy little card there to take you straight through on how you can win it. Get amongst it right now. We'd love to see you. In the meantime, Ham.
About to hear the first of what I hope will be a regular bit of Bobby spotting.
Yes.
You've been Bobby spotting, Ando.
Yeah, I was coming off the tube, Ham.
Train. I'll do translations if people need them.
Yesterday, and there was a uniformed policeman.
Bobby.
You've been translating both ways?
Yep. Just for our British listeners.
Who I noticed go into like a crouching position, not unlike you might see the villain in a Looney Tunes cartoon. You know those ones where they kind of get a little bit haunched?
Squat.
And he kind of went behind a pillar column. That was, and I was like, what's this guy doing? It's bizarre.
Weird.
Anyway, I followed his gaze. I followed where he was looking.
Thinking, was his shoulders hunched and he wasn't tiptoeing, was he?
He was tiptoeing.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
A tiptoeing Bobby.
Yes. And I followed his eye line.
Not a street performer.
No.
A genuine Bobby.
A genuine policeman. He was looking at a girl who was walking along with...
You would have immediately gone, oh, here we go, fellow prowler. I recognise the signs.
So I sat down immediately and started taking notes. No, see, he's looking at this girl who's walking along with her iPhone out in front of her. Now, if you just hold the iPhone out, so you're the girl.
So almost like you're getting reception or just close to your body?
Closer to the body, yeah. I would say one ruler length away.
Yep.
She walks past the pillar.
Oh, my God.
He comes out from creeping, right? And starts essentially ghosting her a little bit. Goes up and snatches the phone off her.
He nicked her phone.
And she went, ah! And he goes, it's that easy.
Role-playing Bobby.
She goes, sorry, he goes, it's that easy. Someone could come along and snatch it out of your hand. Never look at your phone in public.
Fagin.
I've taught you a lesson.
Hey, Fagin, he hasn't pick-handed her.
She was startled. Absolutely, shaking.
I've been robbed by the cops.
And then he's like...
Quick, someone call the criminals? Because the police have robbed me?
And she said, oh, and he goes, sorry I had to do that to you, love, but, yeah, it's that easy.
As we speak, my friends are breaking into your house. It's that easy. Never go out.
13-10-60. It was a very unconventional way to teach someone a lesson.
No one's expecting a cop to rob them.
Yes. 13-10-60.
Did he keep it?
No,
he didn't teach her a lesson.
Yeah, he didn't. Well,
so she didn't get to experience the pain of phone loss. He hasn't taught her the right lesson.
Give us a call, 13-10-60. I want to know, when has someone tried to teach you a lesson in a very unconventional way? If it's someone of authority, extra points like a policeman. Brad, has someone tried to teach you a lesson in an unconventional way?
Well, hello, Chumba 1 and 2.
Hello, Chumba Brad.
Yeah, Chumba Brad, which goes against what we were trying to do with Chumbas. But welcome to London, mate.
Thank you. Well, what happened was I was hanging out at school with my friends just after school, and I was leaning against the window, and I just had my hand, and I was just rubbing my finger on the silicone, and I started picking it off, just wasn't paying any attention. But all the alarms went off. Then
The
security alarms. And I got in trouble. I had to go to the office and explain what was happening. I wasn't trying to break into the school or anything. And it all got sorted out. They just put some new silicone on it. But a couple of days later, my pop calls me up. And he says he was the police. And he wanted me to go into he said I was messing around at school, and he wanted me to go into the station and go talk to them. And by this time, I was freaking out, and everyone else was in on it except for me.
And then what? So what did you end up doing? When did you get
Were the police baffled when you turned up at the station?
Well, what happened, because I was only about 12 at the time, I was at home, and I just started crying. I was freaking out so much. I thought I was going to go to jail.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have gone to jail for less than picking silicone off a window.
I love in the 12-year-old's head. It's like, yeah, no, that's fair enough. I did damage that window. I'll probably do 6 to 9 years for this.
Thank you, Brad. Jane, 13-10-60. Someone tried to teach you a lesson. Yeah, really
Very
well.
Good, Jane.
That's good. Well, actually, when I was being taught how to drive, my dad kept saying keep safe distances from cars. Obviously I didn't listen. And what happened was, to teach me a lesson, one day we were driving down as a family to the coast, and he was driving in front of me, and I was kind of going a little bit up his butt. So he broke really suddenly, and I went up, smashed my dad's car.
So
and
you
I was
deliberately caused a car accident.
Yeah, and I was left to pay the excess. So taught me a lesson, and now I drive like a grandma very far back.
Yeah, just in case the person in front of you is deliberately trying to have an accident with you.
Thank you, Jane.
This is Hamish and Andy.
Haim with, of course, us pushing to be able to share the flame, our flame claim.
Yeah.
In between finding out that policemen here have unconventional methods, we just really haven't had a chance to catch up.
We had a lot of time discovering the lair today. Your new lair, or your creepy books and instructional video on stalking, and your luring flute that you obviously stick out the window and play to make the women of London come a-dancing. We just have not had
Incidentally,
time.
you finding that and playing, did we have anyone run in?
I don't know the tune, my friend. I've forgotten it. I've been a taken man for too long.
We haven't had a chance to catch up over jazz.
That's nice. Do you think it's a bit weird that no one really consulted anyone before we picked mint as the flavour of freshness? I mean, it's not like it appears in our mouth naturally or anything like... Why couldn't we pick carrot? Nice, crisp carrot. It's as fresh as a mint, isn't it?
Hey, Ham.
Yeah.
This is something I've known for decades, it's just been sitting in my mind for a long time. I thought it could be helpful for everyone else.
Let's get it out.
The new toaster. You should always burn it out for a bit before you put the original toast in.
Got nothing to do with the fact that your dad just told us that, is it? Hey, Ando. There's a store around the corner called Afro World, and it helps people get afro haircuts. Okay. I'd like to make a formal request to you to not get an afro.
Hey.
Yeah.
Been reading a lot of the local papers here, trying to keep abreast of things, and guess what?
Can't read stalking books forever.
Tom Jones is looking different.
Oh, I read that. Ando, serious one.
Yep.
How long...
No, Tom Jones is looking different.
No, of course, I'm sorry. But it's a serious one that not everyone's talking about.
Okay.
How long do you reckon it will be before an actress or a model can come along and call herself Carmen, etc., and not be compared to Carmen Electra? I suppose what I'm asking is, how long has Electra got left on the clock?
28 years.
Oh, I thought 8.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.